Hello, I'm Julia Cordova. Thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel and liking my videos. I really appreciate it. I have been poring over these charts for hours, actually days, and I will tell you that I am uncomfortable telling you that the setups I'm going to take this week are high probability. I don't know if they are or not. They're kind of like, Cordova, what is you doing? Anyway, I will tell you what I'm going to do on each of them, and then I will get your feedback, hopefully in the comments, and I will try to explain what both sides of the trade are so that you could take the opposite trade or so that you could at least see where I'm coming from, and we'll go from there. All right, you ready? Whoop. All right. Okay, let's start off by looking at ES or SPX weekly futures. So the week has already started here. It's about 6:15 on Sunday night, and futures opens at 6 o'clock Eastern. And this past week, we did just eke above resistance, but not enough for me to say fakey breaky, which sucks, right? Because that would be like, oh, hey, fakey breaky, now we know what to do. But it very much did what I thought was a possibility, which stayed right under resistance and just sort of wah up, right? Wah, like just like that. Okay, so far we've just stayed right below this price resistance, although we did eke out above RSI resistance. However, oh boy, so from a weekly perspective, nothing looks bearish, even though it's under resistance. Let's look at the weekly, and then the daily, and then I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. Oh boy, oh boy. All right, so we did break out of this flag we had identified a few days or last week. And because we broke out of the flag, we have a new measured move now of about 45.92. Now, it doesn't mean it won't, it means that that's our measured move, but it doesn't mean it'll get there straight, right? It could very well, this flag could even fail, but just like the Bitcoin flag and flags before it, we keep this level on the chart because eventually it's going to be important to us if we get back near there, okay? So anyway, this is resistance, which we're above right now at 44.26. Actually, it looks like we're just back testing it right now. And really for bulls, that needs to hold from a daily perspective. Now, let's look at NASDAQ, and then I'll explain what I'm going to do. Okay, so this is the 1 day. Sorry. Let's look at the weekly. So we still have not met my measured move of 15,209.75. And NASDAQ had, while it was a green week, it was pretty meh compared to ES or SPX. So typically NASDAQ leads, and because it was meh, it leads me to believe that ES is actually going to end lower this week. So I am going to take the short. I'm already a little bit short, but I'm going to take the short more if we hit this NQ 15,209 level, and it looks to me to be exhausted because we do have this sort of right here. We have some divergence here. That could go away, but that is my plan, and I could very well be wrong, in which case I need to flip, but that is my plan. I do believe that even though I do feel that we're going to have a strong Monday, I feel that the week will end red. I could absolutely be wrong. It's against the trend, and I don't know what else to say other than that's just my personal, that's what I'm doing. I don't know. That's what I'm doing. All right, so let me look at the daily here. So, again, we had a breakout here. So I put a new measured move in here of 15,741.25. I will price label that later. But for now, if that gets below 15,020 or so, that's going to start to look like a fakey breaky. Or you could potentially use that level to get long if you feel that we're going to go up this week. That is for Sunday/Monday. And that is assuming we don't just go straight up. Okay, so that's that. Now let's look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin hit my resistance of 44,300 or so, And then it looked like it just kissed it and then left it, but then it got a little bit higher again. But it's okay. This is not an exact science. This, by the way, was a measured move from a flag way back here. And you see what happened? It started to make it and then fakey breaky, which is bearish. And then eventually this level though does become important again. So I would just expect, and I don't expect it to go straight down from here, but I do expect some consolidation. So now we'll have to see sort of what shape that consolidation takes place in order to know where things are going next, whether they're going all the way to the key or whether or not we're headed back down. I do not know. All I know is that this is resistance and it would make sense to consolidate around it. Okay, let's look at Ethereum. Okay, so with Ethereum, we broke out above resistance, had a very strong day here after many days, but it's still okay. I mean, we're in the turbo zone of RSI. It could keep going. I don't know. But the resistance here, which was not a flag resistance, was 3044, which it looks like we have back tested and are just sort of hanging out around right now. So we'll have to see. So this is, for today, 3044 is the level we're watching as resistance. Okay, let's look at GDX. So I had thought that potentially because we had this strong candle that potentially we'd either chop or sort of maintain at least the momentum temporarily, but instead Thursday and Friday it just tanked. And so I ended up taking a scalp on Friday because it really tanked. And I thought, well, you know what? It's just like market makers to close it on something that could go either direction. So I felt comfortable taking that scalp. Ended up a few percent, but and took some profit, but I'm holding some over the weekend on account of I don't know that they'll want to kill it immediately. So I expect I think based on experience that potentially Monday we're going to find out whether or not this is going to try to retest this 33.59 level, and if it does, then we'll have to see whether or not that holds. That is very important for this week, is closing back above 33.59. Otherwise, the next support is 31.27 down here. Okay, RSI does not look good. It looks like we exactly hit resistance and now we're below support. Doesn't mean we can't come back from it. Okay, I mean, stranger things have happened, but for now, it does not look bullish. I'll just say that. However, I'm going to see whether or not they try to hold this line based on gold and silver. So let's look at gold. Okay, start off by looking at the weekly here. All right, so I drew in a new line here, this purple line, because if you look at it, boom, 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 boom. It's been an important line on a weekly basis, and this level is 1757.7, which looks like we're at right now. So that really needs to hold this week for gold to still look bullish. Short term, I know, but that's what I'm watching, 1757.7, and if it gets a bounce from there, then it's going to look good. It's a little bit below right now, but we'll see. It's still okay. We'll see. And otherwise, it's going to have a ways to go, and I'm going to have to recalculate that. All right. But that's what I'm looking at as support. Short term here is 1757.7. Really, it's not bullish until it's back above the key at 1788.9, and then we'll talk. But this is very bearish looking. This is the bear sandwich looking thing. So I would think that if it does dip below here, it just has to close above 1757.7 for the week in order for it to look good moving forward. Let's look at silver. Oh boy, so this is the weekly for silver, and you can see that we lost our triangle. Doesn't mean we can't come back from it, but for now, it's looking a little bit dire. So, oh boy, it's not going to be bullish again looking until it is above 24.995. Okay, and if it can't regain that level. It does not have any kind of major support that I see until this black line, which depending on where it hits is somewhere in the high 20s, mid 20s, depending on where it hits. Okay, so bulls really want it to regain this, or at the minimum have a cute little doji, and then look to the next week to see what happens. Okay, let's look at oil. Okay, so last week we took the oil short. Yay! That was a very profitable. And it looks to me like I do believe big picture oil is potentially going to form that huge head and shoulders I talked about right here. Shoulder, head, and then shoulder. So I think big picture, I think it's going down, right? Now, week to week, I do not know. Here's why. Because I was short both oil and XOP last week. I thought I hit a home run. I did. I hit a home run in oil. But XOP, I was very annoyed because, I mean, look at GDX, how it stunk when the metals stunk, but XOP did not stink when oil stinks, and that means that big money is questioning whether or not we're going to have a red week in oil this week. So I do not know. It looks to me like they think we're going to pop up a little bit before we drop. So potentially I'm probably going to take a long scalp, which, what does the scalp mean? It's a very short-term trade based on the fact that I think that they'll try to pump it back up above this 20 MA and get it back here. But overall, I'm still positioned bearish on these equities, so I might be screwed on that trade. I don't know, but I made a lot of money on this one, so that's good. But anyway, overall, I think the trend is now back to down, but that's just my opinion, and I could absolutely be wrong. Okay, let's look at natural gas. Natty gapped up, and it's just been doing flag. This is the daily. It's been doing flag after flag after flag after flag, but it did close the week below this flag, and now it's opened up again above. So for Natty to maintain its momentum, I think it really needs to hold above 4.146. Otherwise, the next supports down that I see are this former resistance area, which was 404 to 407, which is not very far, but that's the next one. And then further down, and the one where I'd be more interested in buying, if I were not in it yet, would be 3.94. But Natty can go all the way back down to 3.608 and still be bullish. So there's that. So I think that potentially, unless we go parabolic here, which is absolutely possible because I do have a higher price target way up here, I do think that we're due for a pullback here. And so we'll have to see whether or not where we stop if we get down there. But first of all, it's still bullish if it holds 4.146. Okay, let's look at Joe. Okay, so it looked like Joe started to stop the momentum down from that blowout, if you will. And we are at RSI support right now as we close the week. So I still sort of have the same opinion I had before. Above 46.78, that's just a back test of the breakout, okay? Still bullish. Above 52.07, also bullish. So I would be interested in buying more either if we got back to this level or if we broke out above here, or maybe even mid here, believing that it's going to go up and then taking some off here and then adding it back on above. That would be my plan. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to make myself big. All right, thank you again so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel and liking my videos. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you on the interwebs. Okay, bye.